Hi guys, I'm back, and again it's me, Sonali Ray, and I'm here with a quick video about water. Well, the training I had to go to last week. That's why you haven't seen me. I'm sorry. So I've been busy, and if you are to join this outfit, you too will be busy. I had to leave Virginia. They flew me to San Diego I needed 2 classes so that I can get on my next ship. So, which is not bad because I've been in a long time. I'm used to all the trainings. They haven't come up with anything new that I know of, right? But here's where it got funky, okay? Be a little shoulder shake, a little shimmy. Here's where it got funky. I've known for weeks that I had to go to San Diego. That wasn't the problem, right? I was prepared for it. I'm very comfortable in San Diego. That's usually where I go, right? To get an assignment, usually. I just made a different choice this time around. So, they flew me out. Let's see, I had to go to training Thursday and Friday, right? They flew me out Wednesday afternoon from Virginia, which means I made it to San Diego about, 6:45 p.m., 7 o'clock, which doesn't sound like a big deal, except from the airport to the hotel I was staying in, it was at least 20-25 minutes. And of course you got to buy your taxi and all that stuff. So you get to after baggage claim and all that stuff, you get to your hotel about, and after getting some food, probably like 8:30, right? And because you're on a different time zone and you've been traveling, you got to wind down, which again, isn't a big deal, right? Do you know I didn't get to sleep until about 11:30, 12 o'clock when I got there that night, just trying to wind down, shower, everything didn't work. Just to be in class at 0700, you have to be in class ready to go at 0700. And because I hadn't adjusted to the time zone, I was so afraid of being late that I kept waking up every hour on the hour. Man. So my first day was helo crash training. If you're not familiar with that, it's when they put you in a simulation of what happens if a helicopter crashes on, the flight deck. You'll learn this stuff if you decide to move forward. If not, just sit back and enjoy the story. So you go into full gear, and I have some photos, you guys, but not many. I couldn't do many photos because of training, and you're not supposed to have your phone out there. But I can't upload those, according to YouTube, until I get to 1,000 followers. So it's gonna be a long time before y'all get to see that, unless y'all start liking, subscribing, sharing, the thing I say all the time, so that I could give you more stuff, give you more information. There's levels to this stuff, okay? It's not just because I want followers, because trust me, I'm not making money off of this. But I remember we had to go dress out and put on all the gear, right? And thankfully they've gotten more sizes and more gear to put on, because there's been times where it looked rough for some people. I said that to say this. We had to do the simulation, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or if I was just freakishly strong in my 20s, but that water hose was harder to maintain this time. Maybe they switched the hose out and it's supposed to be hard on purpose. Maybe it's not me at all. Yeah, that's it. But it was harder, but it wasn't impossible. Y'all, we was out there. It was about 80 degrees, and then you got on that firefighting gear, and it is hot. Very hot. And of course, I was the only female out of all the guys. It's like 18 of us, and I'm the only woman. So it happens. But the irony of it is, and this is the most comical part, I barely got sleep. A lot of those guys had already been there, so they was, adjusted and acclimated to the time change. And here I am, just like, thankfully I was hydrated. But when I tell you that these big bad guys, because a lot of them are big, they're bigger than me, these big bad guys were whining so loud, I can't go no more, it's hot, I need some water, and just so on and so forth. And I'm like, listen, patty cake, okay? I am out here in the heat with you, all right? I'm not screaming for water. I don't have on makeup. Do you know what that does to me? I am a makeup-aholic, okay? And you are out here with, with all that going on, crying and stuff, and I'm the victim. I gotta be around you guys in the flesh, in the nude. I feel naked. I ain't like that. So we got through the training. The hard part isn't just the training, it's the lectures. The lectures can be kind of rough when you're tired. Me. So that was the first day. I only had to have 2 days out of the 5 days of training. So that was day 1. So I finished day 1, whew, right? Man, I didn't have the good sense because I have friends and stuff in San Diego, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're here! I'm gonna so So I ended up with friends, and I was like, I told myself, it's all right. It's 3 o'clock. It's right at 3 o'clock. You can stay out to 8, but at 8 o'clock you need to be getting ready to turn down. I didn't get to sleep till probably 12 o'clock again the next morning, which wouldn't have been bad, except I had to be in class at 0700 again. And this time it wasn't for fire, thankfully, because it was hot outside. It was for water. Water is a little different, but this time around versus the other times, and no shade to any past instructors. Again, I've had this training at least 3 times. They were a little bit more meticulous with how they wanted this stuff to get plugged up. So basically they put you in a simulation, and there is a video, that I posted before this video about damage control training. Is basically what happens if there's a puncture in the ship and then you're taking on water. So you got to dress out again and put you in these coveralls and all that stuff, and you have to utilize the tools that they provide for you to patch up these leaks. Now it's not bad training. It's fun. One thing for sure, you're not going to drown. It's impossible. You'll see why when you see the windows in the facility. You'll see, I showed you already. But 2, because it's a team effort, you don't have to do it solo, which would suck. But it's a team, and you need more than one person to do it anyway. I think the only person that got hurt was this one guy, and there's this part of the simulation where we have to go up the ladder well. You will see it. And everything, there's water coming everywhere, right? So there's water coming everywhere. And we have to go up the ladder well. And there's a hatch there that you have to open and push up. Well, above what they're flooding the top as well, because again, it's a simulation. They want to give you as close to real life experience as possible, right? So the water's pushing down, and water's heavy. So the guy was having some challenges pushing it up. We saw it, and once he was able to get it up, thankfully, we have to push through. But even if you're not the person that has to push it up initially, it's still kind of heavy coming down water, because we also have to wear gear, and there's like this helmet thing that you have to wear, which keeps the water out of your face and all that good stuff. So you have to wear that, and it's pushing and pushing the pressure on you, and you still got to get up in there. So much so that by the time I got through the water to help each other out, we start pulling each other out, which is allowed, because you're in a situation like that, your teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm saying? So I felt somebody grab me and snatch me back. They was like, just lean back, just lean back. So I did so, because when we get out of the way, I don't want to obstruct anyone else's opportunity to come up. But I was going up, and I was making it to the last step, and I was pushing, and I got up, but we were trying to, all of us were trying to hurry up and get this over with, So after that, I was like, oh, bet. All bets are off. Everybody that's coming up, I'm going to snatch them too. We all getting snatched, so we can hurry up and speed this along, because nobody wants to do this all day. And nobody wants to have to redo it. So the cool thing about the end of the training, once we finish all of the exercises, and then they get to the bottom, and the instructors come and tell us how we did or how we didn't do. And usually they tell you suck. Even if you did. Sometimes you probably do. But just, keep you humbled a little bit, keep you grounded. And I don't know why we thought we were going to, somebody introduced the idea of playing You Got Served, and I definitely fell for it. So we're like drawing lines. This is the end, so we've already finished everything for everybody. It's like, this is not a joking matter. Relax, get your panties out of a bunch. So we kind of for a couple of seconds was like trying to fake battle each other. Then I remembered I can't dance. But I was going against the white guy, so couldn't have gotten that bad, right? But no, it was a real chill group, and everything was cool. After that, of course, we had another lecture, and that was probably the hardest part for most people, because when you do a lot of physical work, and sometimes you don't feel like sitting down, but for me, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. And then when I looked around, a lot of people were asleep, but that's to be expected. Some of these people have been out here for 20 years. It's a bunch of rinse and repeat information, to include a lot of the videos that they show is from the 70s and 80s. It's old information, still relevant, but definitely old. Some of it I don't really think is that relevant, but so, but the instructor is what made it funny, because he lives and breathes sarcasm. That man would throw in so many little innuendos, like little jabs and stuff. And because the other guys weren't paying attention, they didn't hear what he was saying. Meanwhile, I'm in the corner cracking up, and they're like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "He just told you, you know, you hear that?" So here, what made it worthwhile towards the end, like I loved it. Every time he came in there, I was excited to hear what he was going to say next, because I knew it was going to be some sort of insult and some sort of joke, right? But towards the end, you know, you always gotta have that one person that has some sort of ego trip at the end, right? The instructor gave instructions. That's what they do. And you were to sit down until he called your name with your certificate, right? And then you bring up your, what do you call it? Oh my God, what do you bring up? You bring up your survey. I'm sorry, you had to fill out a survey. So, brain fog, I'm getting old. So you bring your survey, and then he'll, you know, you exchange it. You give him the survey, he gives you your certificate. That way he knows he's giving everybody their certificate, and everybody had an opportunity to do the survey. So one guy walks up there and was like, "Just give me my certificate," you know. And he was like, "I'm not going to give you," he said, "You can stand there all you want. I'm not giving you a certificate. If you want to make my life hard, I can make yours hard too. But you'll just be standing there until I call your name, because this is how I said it's going to go." And then the guy was like, "Well," you know, he said a little yap here and there, and then he went and sat down, because what's all that for? Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this story about how training went. Unfortunately, I can't give you the full scope, but they did bring to my attention that you new hires that come on board, acclimate yourself with sea terms. Most of you come out there and don't know the difference between port and starboard, aft and stern. That's gonna be a problem for you, okay? When I came in, I didn't know what an unrep was, because they didn't tell us what an unrep was, right? We was like, I thought I was just gonna be there to be like a cleaner or serve tables, which is what I, you know, had done before. I was like, "Oh, what's an unrep?" And this guy was like, "That's part of the reason why you're here." I'm like, they didn't say anything like that in training, which is why now when you enter training post-NEO, they do what's called unrep training, which wasn't a thing when I got in, okay? It's a little gem for you. So unreps is basically at sea replenishments, is the actual evolution of that. And a lot of instructors, when they tell you, ask you the difference between port and starboard, and you don't know it, they're like screaming, like, "Where did you get these people from?" Port left side, starboard right side. That simple. That simple. It's really that simple. Anyway, I'm not going to take any more of your time. As usual, like and subscribe so that I can upload these photos and these documents and all these things that would literally benefit you if you're going to be out here. But I have to do it with more followers. So anyway, have a wonderful night or a wonderful day. Bye.